Pyramids. Peer. You're a peer. You're my peer. I'm your peer. Pyramids. Pyramids. The land. We are peers amid the land. Through a circuit of soils, plants, fountain of energy, and animals, food chains are the living channels which conduct energy upward. Death and decay return into the soil. The circuit is not closed. Some energy is dissipated in decay. Some is added by absorption from the air. Some is stored in soils, peats. Excuse me, I got dust on my iPad. Some is stored in soils, peats, and long-lived forests. But it is a sustained circuit, like a slowly augmented, revolving fund of life. There is always a net loss by downhill wash, but this is normally small and offset by the decay of rocks. It is deposited in the ocean, and in the course of geological time raised to form new lands and new pier. Amidst the velocity and character of the upward flow of energy depend on the complex structure of the plant and animal community. Much as the upward flow of sap in a tree, how they know it goes so upward, because it's sap and thick. But it tree depends on its complex cellular organization as it already is moving upward flow. But without the complexity, normal circulation would presumably not occur. Structure means the characteristic numbers as well as the characteristic kinds and functions of the component species. But we was just talking about a tree, plant, animal. But the interdependence between the complex structure of the land and its smooth functioning with its rocks and all. But as an energy unit is one of its basic attributes, what would be the its? The land, the smooth, the energy? Okay, anyways. When a change occurs in one part of the circuit, many other parts must adjust themselves to it. Change does not necessarily obstruct or divert the flow of energy. Evolution is a long series of self-induced changes, the net result of which, notice, we just keep talking about nets. They haven't thrown in the gross yet. But to elaborate the flow mechanism and to lengthen the circuit, the net result of which has been evolutionary changes, however, are usually slow and local. Man's invention of tools has enabled him to make changes of unprecedented violence. Wouldn't that be very very precedented? Rapidity and scope. One change is the composition of florus. What am I reading? Florus and what? I gotta look at the book real quick. Faunus. That's a fossil fuel to pull you there. Alright, the larger predators. Gosh, they put man right in with the predators of large, locked off the apex of the pyramid food chains for the first time in history become shorter rather than longer. What are we talking about? Domesticated species from other lands are substituted for wild ones, and wild ones are moved to new habitats in the world wide pooling of faunas and floras. Some species get out of bounds as pests. That says pests, not pests. Or does it say pests? It totally says pests. Okay, well, this one, though, over here said peats, though. Let me just make sure. Yeah, Peats. Here. Pests over here. Alright. It says, get out of bounds as pests and diseases, others are extinguished. What? Such effects are seldom intended as foreseen, or are they ever foregoing? Borger. Borger ever so clean in the original sexual orientation. They represent unpredicted and often untraceable readjustments in the structure, or such traceable, trackable tracing, so justing and adjustments that it's so injustice to the structure. That agricultural science is largely a race between the emergence of new pests and the emergence of new techniques for them pest controls, pests of. This is new techniques for their control. Whose? What are we talking about in this book? Another change touches the flow of energy through plants and animals and in return to the soil fertility. Oh, wait, to the soil, period. Fertility is the ability of soil to receive.
Saying it.
I missed it.
How do you see it fall? That thing, it hit the ground, right?
You said look at the helicopter. I was trying to find the helicopter.
It was falling, and then it hit the ground. It blew up.
I did hear it hit the ground, though. Like your face on the ground in the superstructure. Alright. So where were we? Another change touches the flow of energy through plants and animals and its return to the soil. Fertility is the ability of soil to receive, store, and release energy. So you're telling me that all soil is fertile? Agriculture by overdrafts on the soil. Or overdraft in your bank account. Or by too radical a substitution for subsidizing of domestic and domesticate civil for sea evil as the natural native species in the superstructure superstitious way of draining and pestistically may derange the channels of flow, or despite storage soils depleted of their storage or of the organic matter which anchors it wash away faster than they form. This is erosion. Waters like soil. So water is fertile, are part of the energy circuit industry by polluting waters or obstructing them with dams and hams and harms and shit may exclude the plants and animals necessary to keep energy in circulation. Industrial transportation brings about another basic change. The plants or animals grown in one region are now consumed and returned to the soil in another. What the fuck? Transportation taps the energy stored in rocks and in the air and uses it elsewhere. Thus, we fertilize the garden with nitrogen, with nitrogen in a naughty way gleaned by the guano birds from the fishes of the seas on the other side of the equator in Europe's, Afghanistan's, Ecuador's, in Saudi Arabia's, Geneva's, Switzerland's, gotta form the freaking Iraqi in the ISIS through swift planning of Greenland's most Antarctic locations. Thus, the formally localized and self contained circuits are poor, pulled on a worldwide scale. The process of altering the peers, the teams, amids for human what are we called? Consumeration? Oh, occupation.
Consumers.
Releases stored energy, those peers omits, and this often give rise during the pioneer ring period to a deceptive exuberance, uber of plant animal life, both wild and tame, both domestic and violent. You an arm and a knee to not harm, please. These releases of biotechnical capital tend to be cloud and be clout or postpone or predone or predate a penalty penile of violence. The thumbnail sketch of land as an energy circuit conveys below as there three basic ideas. First, the land is not merely soil, it is fertile. That the native plants and animals kept the energy circuit open, others may or may not, and by that they put the death into the soil for it to be not cascaded in its containment. Then it's the man-made changes are made of different order than evolutionary changes and have effects more comprehensive than its unintended or intended or foreseen ever foregoing, which is man-made changes is always different but evil and shunning, I don't know, more effects A or more effects with the E, comprehensive or complexive in their complexion, intended and foreseen. In hindsight, we'll see, I guess. It's pioneering period these days.